kind of an increase.
If you're talking about.
That's
way over-
3.5%
way
to all the borough
overspending.
employees and the police. The 3% to the police is contractual. There's nothing you can do about it.
I understand that, for certain.
That's the library, that's Public Works.
How many
people,
mills
that's
are in the
secretary. Two.
2.8, well, you
It was
reduced it.
2.8, I reduced it to 2 because they didn't need any extra money in there. Last year they
They did
needed.
reduce it, so you
I
did drop the
reduced-
library.
Yes, it's a 2.
Well, I increased it
How many
last
days
year
a week
for-
do they run?
5.
Might have to reduce the library services, I don't know.
3 days a week.
You know, what your choices are very simple, to me anyhow, but I'm not much of a thinker. You either go for the services you need, police, and even roads. Maintenance, those are services you need. You have to fix roads, you gotta fix lights, you gotta provide police service. The rest of the stuff, like council salaries, all that's window dressing. Now, if you're gonna cut, I think those are the areas you cut in, but it's up to you guys.
Cutting council salaries is a nice gesture, but it's not gonna save us much.
It's gonna save you $15,000.
Yeah, and we're in the whole 350,000.
Exactly.
That's not cutting service, that's just not paying the new people coming on council, and the new mayor.
Nobody runs for council for the paycheck.
No.
Oh, quite obviously.
That's right.
I don't know what I'd do without it, but. Now, there are some people that want to check, but I would say, if you can save $15,000 by not paying me and 4 other council people, or 3 others and the mayor, I'd be willing to go with that. I have no problem with that.
That's, I suppose each individual would have to decide whether they want to give it back or not.
Well, then, the people that are already collecting you,
He's referring to the new ones coming on.
the new ones coming on, we don't have to pay them. You don't have to put a salary in there if you don't want to. You have to put one in for the current.
Well, this is just, like I said, we're coming in on this, we're under the gun now to get this because it's gotta be passed by a certain time, and I'm like looking over this every way, any opportunity I have to see if there's anything we put this back, because it's been overspent.
So you have reduced the library?
What did we overspend on?
How many vehicles were we gonna buy a year?
Oh, my God.
When we started budgeting money for the vehicles for the borough? 1 vehicle a year.
One police vehicle or one borough
One.
vehicle?
Borough. That's what we were putting 50,000 in a year for
For
borough
heavy equipment.
vehicles. And how many did we buy in a little over a year?
Some came out of liquid fuels, some parts came out of,
Yeah.
And that's the only place it could come out of.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And the money
And
we've gone
you
back to the
couldn't,
state
you
was
had,
there.
you actually
Exactly.
saved that money, because if you didn't use that money, it was going back.
Back to the state.
Yeah.
You have
So
to.
you got a borough vehicle and you put like $20,000 or $30,000 from the highway fund or from liquid fuels and stuff. So if you didn't want to spend it, you could have given it back to the state.
But we still have a street sweeper, we have the bucket truck.
You didn't have a street sweeper, and everybody, when I came here, everybody bitched that they didn't have a street sweeper.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
Let me tell you, I used to hear that every
I
meeting.
know a lot of people
They
did,
stood
you're right,
right up
but
there.
I didn't care for it.
Well,
To me,
Bill
it was-
Farrell was up there every
I
night.
know, yeah,
It does,
but then they don't wanna pay the bill.
Yeah,
Everyone wants to live in the park, listen to the birds,
That's
no
right,
crime, we all love each other, but life ain't like that.
I know.
Why not?
But let me tell you, we
You
didn't
live
spend,
life like
listen,
that,
we
give
didn't
me
spend
a secret.
$170,000 for a street sweeper, we spent 80. And
The
you
bucket
got
truck you
one,
needed the bucket.
you got a bucket truck,
Well,
you got a street sweeper. Street sweeper has a stainless steel, all stainless steel. It's gonna last you 20 or 25 years. If you only keep it 10 years, you'll be able to trade it in, and you'll be able to get a good buck for it, and you'll be able to move on and get another good
Yeah,
street
but that's
sweeper.
money spent, what are we gonna do this year?
But you didn't spend money unwisely, we'll put it that way. And you were spending enough on maintenance on your trucks to buy a new truck every
That's part of the
year.
problem, was when your trucks get old.
Let me tell you.
the ma-
And now you're
the maintenance
complaining because you
jacks up.
spend $4,000 on maintenance? You shouldn't complain.
I'm
$4,000.
just trying to cut from
I know.
what we were over
She's
our
not
tab on.
complaining.
I know, but I'm just
If I
saying.
if I had all the money, I'd give you everything you need for all this.
Me
We
too.
overspent. We spent on that investigation way over. It came out of our budget. We gotta put it back in. I wish we had candy coat, that
Absolutely,
would happen.
absolutely.
So
But
we're
our
not
insurances
doing
are way up. That's
They
what's
are.
really costing you.
They are, and
Right
I
now.
understand that. So between that, if you take out this stuff, the
workers' comp,
And what-
60 grand.
Exactly,
More
and
than
we
you
have what we paid out.
Well, let me
for
tell you
this.
something.
Right.
When you do, listen, I'm not gonna
It's
say
time to
anything,
pay the
but when you
bill.
do another project here, you're gonna start to save some money too. And hopefully, like the street lighting fund, you'll save $110,000. Hopefully, next year, things will turn around for you too. And maybe we can lower this thing too. I hope,
I'd like to make this came from Mr. Downey. I'd like to make this, can give you all a copy tonight. An investigation of any activity, be it for potential violations in civil law of standards of conduct or an investigation of possible violations of any criminal law or statute, must be performed with due diligence, tact, and respect for privacy of all involved. Visceral reactions to complaints to government agencies by the agency are imprudent, foolish, and arrogant. The insurance carrier for the borough determined that an independent special counsel be hired to review the investigation being made and determine what, if any, recommendations are to be made of any action to be taken by borough council. The work effort by the special counsel is still ongoing. No conclusions or determinations will be made until proper, ethical, and thorough processes are complete. There were referrals to criminal justice agencies. There are criminal statutes being analyzed. No accusation should or can be made as yet. Proper judgment is not a matter of contingencies or what-ifs or suppositions based on half-truths, innuendos, or personal agendas. This came from our Mr. Downey, because there seems to be continued ongoing speculation as to why we had an investigation, why we spent money. I say this now because you're continuing to say that we overspent on the
Well,
investigation.
still, people are saying they're still spending on this.
It's
We're
not-
still
Okay, let me go back, there's one here I think people missed. The work effort by the special counsel is still ongoing.
Okay. All I'm saying is when we had that executive session, we hired that guy to give us the determination. He came
Actually,
that
back in
night.
July.
Okay, well, he came that night, and he
Right.
gave us his version of what happened with that cornerstone, correct? Am I
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
My view on that is that's what we paid him to do. If it's gonna go further and they need to do what maybe Cornerstone didn't complete or whatever the problem is, okay? That needs to be voted on. You can't do that. To me, that's an expenditure still behind closed door. You have to bring, it wasn't done. It has to be brought out and voted to the public to say, we're paying for that.
There's other investigations, the other expenditures, when Cornerstone was voted on, or that we would add, they needed to further the investigation, or wherever it went. Those were done by council during the executive session with our attorneys present. No different than this one.
Right, but what I'm saying is, in order to.
But I told you, I'll put
to-
that, you want that on, the motion is fine,
I-
just, it'll be
I
on
do,
the,
because
it'll be
I.
on
It'll be on the
because we all
agenda.
had
it'll
an
be on,
opinion.
it's on the agenda.
Yeah,
So,
because we all had an opinion as to what our, my
Yes.
view anyway, as to what I thought was being
and
said.
it's on the agenda, so
So,
That's good.
I just,
and that night,
I personally feel that.
at that table,
here, copy
to that guy, that was I don't care what
well,
you
I
say,
didn't say a word.
you were sitting
You
right
guys
there. It was
leaned over and
unanimous
said,
to
"Fill
let
the
him
holes."
finish.
She changed her mind after she slept
And
on
the
it.
next day,
He told you to give us time to think it over.
That
He wanted an
weekend.
answer that night.
The
He
weekend.
said that weekend, Mr. Ravella and Ms. Sherlock said to him, I think we should fill in the gaps. Okay, and that's fine, you wanna do that, but you can't speak for me, because I need to think about that whole mess that we just said.
okay,
that
well, he
night.
told you how much it would cost,
Mhm.
and everybody told him to proceed that night. They're gonna, if you wanna vote on it at the council meeting, then that's fine, vote on it at the council meeting. But he has proceeded. As a matter of fact, he picked up
Well,
stuff today. I'm just gonna
Well,
tell
we
you.
should let the public know that,
Yeah,
because they
well,
will
the
know what's
public
going
will
on.
know that, and you're gonna vote on it, whether to pay him, and he'll be done January 1st. I can tell you that. I talked to him today. He picked up more information, and they said they'll be done January 1st.
I hope.
So you said,
No,
will it
I-
be, you don't wanna keep going?
You
You
just-
won't be going
You just,
any further.
well, you just know my confidence in that, okay,
Okay.
as to what.
I know,
transpired.
I didn't know how to comment
Okay.
on that, but I'm just telling you what he told me today.
It's a lot of taxpayer money, that's why we're having this.
That's
why
right.
we're
Read
having
what
this.
Mr. Downey just said, though.
Okay,
And then,
but that's why we're here.
I know, we're here to do the
I'm really upset
budget.
about this budget, the last thing I wanna do is raise the taxes on the public,
That's right. I agree.
you know?
Listen, I gave you
This is
3
crazy.
budgets. One with 0, one with 10, and one with 18. It's not me to pick your budget. I'm only the bean counter. I can only tell you what you have, what bills you have, and what we could do. It's up to you to decide that stuff. when you said you wanted to do the middle one, the 10 or whatever, and I knew that you could only go 7 mills in the general fund, that's what I did today. I took out everything that I could take out to only make it to 7 mills.
That's good.
Exactly.
Take out council's salaries.
I could take out council
Or do we
salaries
have
and
to
even
vote?
lower it for, I'll take out my raise. And if you want me to take out Bobby's, it's only Bobby, Joey, and Ron Shees. They're the only
No, but
people.
they don't get paid out of the general fund.
Oh, yes, they do. They get paid, we all get paid out of different funds.
Different funds.
Why
The
does
general-
Ron Shees get paid out of the general fund?
Because, there's things in the general fund that he does.
So it's a little bit of everything.
There's a little bit of everything, water, everything. So we all get paid out of all the different funds. So if you want us to
Yeah, I-
take out
yeah.
everything out of the general fund that's in our
Then
raise,
it reduces each
our
fund.
raise.
I know that, that's
We'll do
cost
that.
sharing, we started that years ago.
okay.
Mainly, we did that for the inside people who worked on all these different projects, like Bobby. Bobby doesn't do only code enforcement.
That's right.
So you have to pay him out of the different funds, because if he does sanitation work, how much of his time is to that, so he's.
And he's the assistant manager also.
Also, he has an administrative, he should be in the administrative fund. But I didn't think Ron Shees was paid at all out of the
Oh, yes.
administrative fund. But
We're all paid out of all the different funds because we all oversee all the
And Joey
different
too?
funds. Joey too,
Joe Kavanaugh too?
yes. If you tell me tonight to do that, I'll do that tomorrow. Well, maybe not
No,
tomorrow.
because we have to pass the budget tonight.
Well, I can take it out
So it
tomorrow.
will be
Well,
passed
this
with the stipulation that those changes will be made, so you
Okay.
just have to,
That's all, then I'll take it out tomorrow and then it'll be.
but I need a figure, you can't just, you know.
You have to give general figures.
Correct.
They know that
This
these
is
lines
tentative,
change.
right?
And
This is
then
about tentative.
The fact is, we can reopen this budget in February.
I
You
don't
open
think
it
that's
up
a bad
after the
idea.
first
With
of
your
the
new
year.
council,
You have a new council, you have a
you can
new
reopen the
chief,
budget.
That's right.
possibly he can do different
He
magic.
might have some ideas how to distribute the police funds, and how he wants to distribute those hours that we need to police the borough.
So,
He might, this expert we're hiring might have those ideas,
how
His
about,
own ideas.
better
so,
ideas than I have.
all right,
You're talking about the attorney we're talking about.
No, I'm talking
No,
about.
police chief.
Police chief.
Once you hire the police chief, you can open the budget in January and change everything.
You can't change amounts, but you can shift stuff around.
okay, so let's go back to Debbie's for a minute, then we can go line for line on this other one. So what, out of this paper, what would be the changes then?
Well, Tom
I mean,
took
we're
some
talking,
out. He took out the building improvements, he lowered the investigative. Sinking fund, he says he can't touch because of that loan. The paving, are we pulling that out?
It's up to you guys.
I agree, I think we could pull that out.
What are our other options for paving? Are there any,
How does
Bridge
everybody
commission
know how
grants?
to do that?
No.
There's no brains.
not yet.
You might get some later on. Yeah.
What roads do we think are excessively bad?
That's not in the general
I
fund
think
anyway.
Delmore's pretty bad.
Yeah, but that's not the general fund.
Well, we can see if we can attach on to the bridge commission with that,
I was told that maybe they'll be coming that far.
yeah.
I looked at Delmore anyway. If you use this money to pay Delmore, you're not gonna get very far
Anything else,
because it's
no.
too wide. I put 102
Well,
in
what at least
here
has
for
to be
that.
done is that one section.
Yeah, but that's, if you go regular streets in Morrisville, the smaller streets, you can get a lot of
Couple
paving
blocks.
done with 102,000. If you go down there by Delmore, those big wide streets,
Someone's
you're
saying,
gonna get
oh,
1,000
why would
feet.
we
Not,
make-
it's not beyond
anymore.
Bridge.
South
On the
Delaware.
other side of Bridge.
Yeah.
South
Yeah.
side.
You're only gonna get 1,000 feet and that's it, for your 102,000. You're not gonna get much at all.
We can get help from the bridge commission on that and just do the railroad tracks.
Yeah,
That's
if you
what
can
has to
get
be
them,
done.
if you can get them to do where they come off the bridge and go down to their garage, they might do it for you for nothing. Let's hope. But I wouldn't use this 102 to do that, because you're not gonna get very far.
Oh, so you wanna leave the 102 in there?
Oh,
No,
no, I'm just saying,
I'm just
don't
saying
use that to do
that's not what
Delmore.
the project's for, that's not what this money is
So
for.
how's everybody's consensus on it? I mean, how do you feel about it? You all don't wanna just redo the loan at
Okay,
that
We
point?
need to find out what this town wants to do. Does the town want to be, do we want any services, I mean, in order to, we have an obligation, we have a police department now, and we have an obligation, and we have obligations to that department for the people that are in that department right now. This first budget, the first budget with the 7 mil addresses that current staff. That seems to be the direction we need to go. We can't speculate what's gonna happen, who might retire, we have to address what we know.
That
We have to
gives you
address the known, not the
Contractual.
unknown.
That
So-
gives you exactly what you had before. Let's say
But there's-
Gary and Apice, okay? That gives you 2 new officers to replace those 2 officers, and gives you the exact same police force you had
Nothing
before.
Police
big.
coverage.
Same coverage that you had before. Gives you 2 officers on the street every night, but it also causes a 7 mil raise.
And that
So
includes
it's
that
this-
It's not
extra,
gonna change anything as far as your police force, their
Status-
coverage or
status
status or
quo.
anything.
So
Did that
the public
include-
needs to know that. We're
Yeah.
not adding other police officers.
the lieutenant told us the other night that he had an extra man on for 5 nights a week.
Right.
Well, that was.
And that includes, that's in there? That's
Yeah, that was-
$44,000.
That was Chris working the 5.
Doesn't matter which one it was.
I'm just saying, that was the
The
third
hours-
man on the
The
other
cost
shift.
is $44,000 if you use part-time figures, because it's 2,080 hours a year, times $21 plus whatever your social security costs are, so it's close to $44,000 a year. That's for 5 nights.
Tom also told us when he was here Monday that this, Tuesday, I'm sorry, Tuesday. Again, and I understand that there's still over and over again, that he told us that the shifts have been covered, that we don't have shortages in our shifts. Why do we keep having this disparity?
Okay, we don't.
No, because are we gonna go with the current